Hello from Koh Kood, and in this video I'm gonna show you how much we spent during our 20 days on the eastern islands of Thailand. And with we, I obviously meant me and my girlfriend Denise is behind the camera. Yeah. In the north of Thailand we managed to stay well below our daily €20 per person budget. But is it possible on the islands of Thailand, the tourist areas, the tourist islands of Thailand? In this video, we're gonna find out. So let's move right away to our first category of costs. Accommodation. This is usually the big one, but actually not the biggest this time, but we'll get to that in a minute. Here on the islands of Thailand, we spent €296, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, for 20 days of accommodation, or €148 per person. That comes down to €14.80 per person as well. For that price, you get a bungalow, kinda like this. I'll show you around. This is, sorry for the mess in here, we've been living here for 8 days. This is our bed, that's where we sleep, and that's the bathroom where we, yes, you know what you do in the bathroom. Shower. Anyway, worth noting is that prices on the different islands vary a little bit. For example, on Koh Chang, we actually only paid €10 per night for a bungalow that was bigger than this, which was, yeah, it was a really good price. It was crazy good price actually. On Koh Wai, however, a small little island without electricity, you should check out my vlogs from there. We doubled the price, and yeah, there was €20 per night for a bungalow. Here on Koh Kood, this bungalow, this exact bungalow, is roughly €15 per night. Worth noting is that the price of a bungalow stays the same no matter if you're one person or two persons. So if you're traveling solo, then yeah, the accommodation cost is the same. But usually there are dorms available for kind of half the price, so you should probably be able to find something even then. Although you won't have as many options. Yeah, those were our costs for accommodation, right?
I would say so.
Cool. And that means that we'll move on to the next category. Food. And that comes down to a grand total of €312 or €156 per person. On an average daily cost, that would be €7.80, which is more than we paid for accommodation, which is kind of crazy. But here's the thing. On the islands, everything is in general a little bit more expensive. On Koh Chang, we were really fortunate to find a really good, nice restaurant with kind of mainland prices where a meal would set you back, or a dish would set you back €1.50 or something, but in general on the islands, expect to pay double that. This dish, I haven't tried it yet actually, but it looks good. We've eaten at this restaurant before. Somewhere in between this meal is around, or this dish is around €2. This amount, like this cost, also includes quite a few fruit shakes, actually almost every day.
Twice a day.
Twice a day, sometimes even. Quite a few iced coffees and even a few beers, because we're really spoiling ourselves here on our island life. Our big saving point is that we only eat 2 meals per day. So if you eat 3 meals per day, for example, then you also gotta calculate that cost in. I'm quite hungry, so with that said, I'm gonna dig into my food and I'll see you at the next cost. Groceries. And that comes down to €40 or €20 per person. And yeah, these are groceries. Some snacks, some drinks. This time we didn't buy any water because we can refill it here, but usually water. Also bought some fruit and stuff from like mostly 7-Eleven, but small shops as well, because there are no 7-Elevens on this island, so this time it was a small shop. But yeah, 20 divided by 20 is quite easy. It's €1 per person per day, kind of on average, which I think is not too bad. And yeah, with that, let's move on to the next category. Transport, and that comes down to €130 or €65 per person. And that covers our transport from Bangkok to the coast, and then the ferry to Koh Chang, the transfer from the ferry to our hotel. I made a video about that. If you want to check it out, you can do that after this video. And then also our ferries from Koh Chang to Koh Wai, and then Koh Wai to Koh Kood. This also includes this little beast that we're renting here on Koh Kood. Sets you back €5 per day, and but it's definitely the best way to get around here. With that said, I'm gonna drive off now, and I'll see you at our next point of cost.
What? Hey, can you wait, please? Hey, hey, don't forget about me.
Activities, and that's a small one because it only includes 2 things: a 2-hour rental for a kayak and this snorkeling mask. The grand total for those 2 comes down to €26. The snorkeling mask was 20 of those, so if you already have a snorkeling mask, you can save that cost. We didn't go on any snorkeling tours or anything because we spent a few nights on Koh Wai, an island with really nice snorkeling, so it wasn't really necessary. If you don't plan to do that though, you can take the €20 that I paid for my snorkeling mask and go on a snorkeling trip instead, because that's pretty much how they cost. That was our activities category, and with that, let's move on to the final category: other costs. And that limits itself to shopping, laundry, and data. And our cost for this was €24 or €12 per person, because we're not really into shopping. The shopping is mostly flip-flops because my sandals broke. Did laundry once. We have 1 SIM card because Wi-Fi is everywhere, and I can just share the hotspot with Denise whenever she needs some extra data. Yeah, and that was it. So I think it's time to have a look at our final statistics here. And now the question is it possible to visit the islands of Thailand for less than €20 per person per day in 2023 and for that matter 2024? And to answer that, we gotta look at our grand total, which comes down to €828 or €414 per person for 20 days. And if we divide that number by 20, we get €20.70. We were really close. We were really close. 1 fruit shake less per day and we would have been totally fine, but I have no regrets actually. So sorry, not sorry. But it does answer the question: is it possible to visit the islands of Thailand for less than €20 per day per person? And that answer is a clear yes, although we failed. Worth noting with this is that we don't really party. Actually, kind of not at all. So except for the occasional beers, we don't spend money on alcohol, which otherwise can really eat up your budget. So if you know that you want to party, then you definitely have to add a little bit extra for that. But yeah, I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, I always appreciate a thumbs up and a nice comment. Like, it helps me a lot and I really appreciate it as well. This is actually our last day here in Thailand and on the islands. So tomorrow we're heading onwards to Cambodia. And if you want to see our further adventures, then hit that subscribe button so you don't miss it. If not, that's totally fine. I get it. You just want to know the cost. I get it. Absolutely okay. But yeah, with that said, I'm gonna have a last swim, and hopefully I'll see you in another video.